Welcome back to the Align Podcast. Great to be back with you this week. This podcast is where we share our experiences to help you become better human beings, better chiropractors, better servers of your community to really make a change in this world. I'm joined as always by my amazing co-host, Lee. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody.
I just felt like doing a round of applause for you there, Lee.
Dude.
So on the weekend, Lee's about to do his talk. This is brilliant. And he's checking his mics and his cameras at the back. And what you do before you... what you need to do is you need to sync the microphones with the cameras, and to do that you have a clap so that he can find it on his audio and such what. So he's at the back and I'm just about to introduce him to the stage, and he claps to sync his audio, and the audience just spontaneously go into a round of applause. So basically Lee gives himself a standing ovation before he even comes on the stage.
Dude, it couldn't have been any more perfect timing. I think you'd literally just said, Lee's given up time and done this today to come and speak to you about this. And I just went to sync the audio, and everybody just went up. And so on the video, you're like bent over backwards laughing because I've just given myself a round of applause.
It's so funny. And that was the most genuine way I've ever seen it before. Because sometimes there are speakers who do things at the end, and at the very end of their talk, they ask the audience to stand up while they say the last piece. It's the cheapest way of getting a standing ovation. I see through it every freaking time. Yeah. Every time. But that was awesome.
Oh God, it's so funny.
So we are, as you would have heard in the previous episode, back from our weekend. And the weekend involved a lot of networking. And we wanted to talk about networking, the importance of networking in terms of growing your personal self as well as growing your business. Yeah. Networking for me is an extremely uncomfortable thing to do. I really dislike it. But I'm pretty good at it. Because I have been forced into situations to talk to people and to read different people's energies and be able to go from that energetic person to the calm, quiet person, and read and move around a room. But I think networking is so important, and I've got some tips on how you can make it better. But why did you want to discuss networking today, Lee? What's in there for you?
Just because it's not something that it's not a topic that I've always been like, I want to go network. For me, I've networked the most when I'm working. So because I've filmed a lot of chiropractic conferences and been to the spring conference and the UCA and Syntropy things and your events, I end up networking sort of by proxy through my work. But this event at the weekend was really a bit different. And one thing, when I came away, I actually thought to myself, I should have done more. I should have, because there was a few people who were quiet, who didn't come up to me, and I should have gone to them. So yeah, I just thought it would be good for people who love networking, and like Robin.
He's amazing.
He's
you just text me. I need to.
Yeah, he's so good at networking and talking to people, and he's really good at asking questions as well. So yeah, it was great to see you again, Robin, if you're listening.
I think that's part of some of the stuff I've got to cover today. I never want to network. No. I find it so uncomfortable. I think we've spoken about this before. Like those small one-on-one conversations, one couple, like I really struggle with those.
They're not easy.
Stage are easy, but those little ones are hard.
They're not easy, especially when, like, this event was the first time I'd ever been to something and had people there who knew me, who I didn't know through the podcast. Yeah. People coming up to me like, great to meet you in person, listen to the podcast. And so so I sort of got a glimpse of how you feel, because when people are at an event, because they've seen you on stage and they've seen you on video and they've seen you on things, if you are in a group of like 3 people, they're all sort of looking at you. Yeah. And it was an odd sensation for me. And it was more difficult than being the person on the other side of it.
It's exhausting.
Where I was wiped from the weekend.
It's exhausting, especially when people know you and you don't know them, which does happen when you go and speak in big audiences, or even just once you've come off the stage. People come say hello, and you're always racking your brain like, have I met this person before? Do I know them? Have I met this person before? So if I've ever done that to you and I've said, oh, nice to meet you, and you're like, yeah, we met yesterday. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I had people come up to me who I'd messaged online, but because I speak to quite a lot of chiropractors, and all I see of them is a little profile pictures, and they don't share loads of stuff online, so I don't see all their posts like people do mine. And I was just like, hi mate, you're right. And then I went past and I was like, fuck, I think I know that person.
So I think the main thing about networking is the fact that it's creating this mutual growth.
Yeah.
So if everybody's trying to contribute, we can all grow together.
Yeah.
Now I think that what really people struggle with networking, the reason it becomes such a difficult thing, is they go to these events to try and get something. And if you're going into the situation to try and get something from your networking, that is going to cause you to become unstuck. It's going to be difficult, and you probably come away from it not getting what you actually went in for. I think the most powerful way to work in networking, and the best way to work in networking, is to go into the situation to try and give and listen. So I gave the example, I think, on the weekend. Just before I went to the event, I met my neighbour for the first time. He's moved in over the back behind. We've got these big sort of conifers at the back. So you can't really see him. I had to climb through the bushes to have a conversation with him. And I came away from the conversation and I knew everything about him in 5 minutes. Like everything, from the fact he literally just broke his neck a few months previous. His baby's 4 months old. They moved house from another side of town to here. When they moved house, he left shelves and furniture and sofas for the people. Like everything about him I knew. He knows nothing about me. Nothing. But I can guarantee that he'll go back into his house and say to his wife, "That guy Tom over there, he's the most interesting bloke I've ever met." And she'll go, What do you mean? And then he won't be able to say anything about me. But
people love to talk about themselves.
Yeah. So this statement that is so true. I'm trying to remember who says it. But be more interested than interesting. When you go into a situation, always try and be more interested than interesting. Be interested in the person. Ask questions about the person. Listen to what that person's got to say. They don't really care about you.
No.
They just care about what they've got to do, what they've got to say. And if you are interested in them, they will remember that you were interested in them. And if they simply know who you are and what you do, and that's it, when they need something, you'll be the person they go straight to because they have such a high esteem and respect for you.
Yeah. And I think you mentioned it at the weekend, but How to Win Friends and Influence People, which we've mentioned loads of times, which I've read and listened to multiple times, and I could do with a refresh. But it's a great book that really encompasses what you were just saying. And it's not just networking, like anything. Go into whatever it is you're going into to give. The more you give, and you don't give to get, but it just works this way. The more you give, the more opportunities you will get. And I went into to the weekend, and I didn't do a hard sell. I didn't even tell, like, anybody can go on my website and actually just subscribe to my service. I didn't once say, go to the website and subscribe.
Yeah.
I went in and gave a free course away, which really should have been charged for because it's a very in-depth course. And I had people coming up to me. I love the way you run your business. I love what you do for chiropractic. And it was just amazing for people to say that. So definitely go in giving and just don't expect to get. And I
think with this anxiety we have over networking is because we worry what people are going to think about us. We worry that people won't take our service, which then doesn't validate what we do, and our insecurities breed. But if you're going in and talking about other people, the spotlight actually goes off you. And if you go with the expectation that I'm here to network, not sell, then you're fine. So you're planting the seed. It's almost like marketing versus sales.
Yeah,
you're just putting out the content. You're putting out personal brand, as it were, how you show up and who you are, and then people will like and trust you, and then the sale can come, and then the buy can come.
Yeah.
I just remembered who said that. It's David Meltzer. David Meltzer's got some great stuff, but he said, "Be more interested than interesting."
And you said people go in with like a lack of confidence, but the people by networking, it will build your confidence. So the more you go and network, and the more you speak to different people, and the more you understand your peers and your audience and your target market, depending on where you're networking. And the more different people you speak to, the more you will know what the next person's going to talk about or ask, and it will just build confidence as you go.
And it's a skill that's built. I just want to pause. I just want to encourage people. We've got something very special to mention at the end of the show, so make sure you stick around because this opportunity at the end of the show is going to go literally within a day of it being released. But I just wanted to then move on to thinking about who you're associating with, like when you're networking. So, there's that saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So really thinking about where you're choosing to network. Be very strict and mindful with your time. So when we moved to Lincoln, we went to a few networking events and I turned up to them, and I don't go to any of them anymore because everyone was doing the opposite of what we said here, trying to sell something when they're there. Everyone was not interested in their health at all. And it was just a waste of my time to associate with those people. And to be honest, my business was way above their business. So I now choose to network in rooms that I know I'm the most stupid person in. So
probably virtual rooms.
They are virtual rooms. So like Arate, when we're in there, it's being with people who are way beyond me. Another one of my coaches, he puts on masterminds. We go out to those, and I know that I'm surrounded by people who are far further along than I am. And that's super important to be thinking when you're networking is, if it is difficult and it does take time, make sure you're spending your time in the right room and assess it. Do it a couple of times. If it doesn't, I had an ex-girlfriend who said to me, make sure you try everything twice. So go a couple of times and make sure that it's the right thing or the wrong thing, and then assess and then move forward and do something else.
Yeah. Oh, you just said something then.
I said a lot of great stuff then.
Now I'm definitely not going to remember what I was
So
going to
making
say.
sure that you're in the right room and that people are more intelligent.
And a lot of the time that may be virtual. But podcasts are really good for that, for getting around people. And it's like the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Go for it. You don't have to put your hand up, by the way. Please, go and watch the YouTube video. That was fucking brilliant.
That was a ding light bulb moment. Not a please sir, can I have my turn to talk? Yeah, what I was going to say is, if you aren't an extroverted person, which I don't think either of us really are, these networking events will wipe you out. Like being at the event at the weekend, every night I was getting back to the room and I was just totally spent. And then when we got home, like I was driving home, Laura was fast asleep next to me in the car. So she wiped her out and she wasn't even doing all the things that we were doing. I was also filming and charging and backing up SD cards the whole time. But you have to make sure you're in the right room, and you have to make sure it's worth not only your time, but your energy, because it's going to take a lot of energy out of you. So yeah, I was just going to mention the energy
and
factor.
That room was awesome actually on the weekend, because there were so many different chiropractors. But wasn't it cool? Like it's a different stage when one of the chiropractors spoke. It was like, oh, and by the way, he's a chiropractor, but also if you want this guy's amazing for this. If you want this, so one of the guys has an amazing organic grass-fed lamb business, which is incredible. So if you want organic grass-fed lamb, message me and I'll remember. Flocks and Fields, it's called. Flocks and Fields. Yeah. One of them's an actor who's been like Hollywood movies. Robin, like the master networker. Like there's some amazing people in that room.
Yeah, there really was.
Which was super cool to learn from. So I suppose on that note, there's a really interesting event that we're going to be running. Yeah. Bring the right people to the right room, which we would love to invite you to join us on. So Lee and I are going to be running the mastermind. The mastermind is a collaboration between Lee and myself, between Film Flow, ASC, and the Align podcast. It is an immersive weekend, which is going to take not only your business to the next level, but really your personal development to the next level. We'll be creating a 5-star experience, staying in an amazing house in the UK. Food will be catered for you. And you simply cannot leave these events the same as you started. I've done many over the years, and we just want to bring our flavor to it. So if you're thinking about just taking that next step to really, really level up your life, then this is for you. If you're on the fence, it's not for you. But if you're all in, this is the event for you.
Yeah, there's already quite a lot of people signed up registration, and it will be amazing for anybody with any business. But if you are a chiropractor, this is going to be the mastermind for you to go to, because with Tom's experience running high volume practice and doing it so successfully and so well, and as his patient, I can attest to that. And then with my experience with numerous chiropractors building their whole online presence, and we're not just going to talk about videos and ads that weekend. We will talk about the whole online presence and how you can really level up things, both physical practice and digital practice, but also yourself. So yeah, it's definitely going to sell out quick. And,
so there's only 10 spaces. It's an intimate event. Like I said, we pre-sold it at my event, and we're looking at probably only a couple of spots left. So
not
if you're
that many.
interested, we'll put the link below. And make sure you jump on that. It's going to be a life-changing event.
Are we doing first come, first serve, or are we handpicking?
We'll be first come, first served, because that shows your commitment level. And anyone we can bring through. It is the weekend of the 19th to the 21st of January next year. So make sure you block that date out, get your ticket. It will be a life-changing event.
And we both love property, so it's going to be in an epic spot. We haven't picked it yet, but it's going to be epic.
I think I might take a Lambo on the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm going to have to choose something then. I don't know, because I've got the bike. Maybe I'll cruise in on the bike.
Cruising on the bike in January on the ice. Love it.
I was surprised how many people that came up to me at the weekend was like, how's the bike? How's the bike?
It's awesome.
Yeah,
the bike is super cool.
Yeah.
So really, networking is something that you should all try. Get around people who are going to push and drive you forwards. Get outside your comfort zone. The easiest way to get outside your comfort zone is to give. Go into give. Go into listen. Be more interested than interesting. Anything else you want to add on that, Lee?
No, mate, close up.
So if you want to share this show with anyone you know could benefit and improve, remember you are trying to give to other people, so please share this show. If you're on the podcast, make sure you jump over to YouTube, subscribe. Please leave us a review. We'd love to have a review from you. We are growing the show very rapidly, and we are trying to help you become better human beings. Links to the mastermind are below, and we'll see you on the next show.
Thank you, everybody.